This meeting is being recorded.
All right, very excited to welcome our next speaker on the Freedom First Business Summit. We've got Shua Mannah talking with us about the awareness games, NeuroMagnetics. So let me first tell you a little bit about Shua. Shua is a game maker, musician, and neuro-emotional guide living in Nelson, British Columbia. After giving up the majority of his possessions, quitting the lucrative job, saying goodbye to friends and family, he left in a van on a quest to find a deeper truth and inner connection. This led to an intense exploration of spirituality, neuroscience, and ultimately a cultivation of awareness of the infinite. He now offers the awareness games, woo woo, which I've had to play in a little bit, and private sessions as ways to support humans to discover their own awareness of love, truth, peace, and power. What else is there? Welcome, Shua.
Let's go. Thank you, Sherry. Good morning, everyone. Good to be here. This is a webinar, which means that I cannot see your faces, but I know that you're there. So if you're here, I'd love to just see some life in the chat. I'd love to say hello to you. I'm so grateful to be here, spending time with you today, and we're going to play. Say hello. Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's good to be here. If it's comfortable for you, I would encourage you to stand up for a couple minutes. You can also stay seated, but if you want to, just even sit up straight in your chair, be fully present, engage the stomach, we are going to set ourselves up for a great day. That is not a great day that bypasses any of the challenges or the suffering or the emotions or the doubts or the fears. It is a great day to explore those things and be present as your whole self, as your full self. So if you want to stand up, what we're going to do is we're going to start with one nice deep breath. So just breathe in through the nose and sigh out. Ah. Oh, it's so good. Let's do it again. Nice inhale through the nose. Fill up the belly all the way down. Sigh it out slowly. Make a sound. Ah. Yeah, a little bit of movement. This time, breathe in so deep that your toes curl. All right? All the way down. And let it out. Relax all your muscles. Whoo, shake it out slightly. Right on. If you are standing, stay standing. If you're seated and you feel like standing, this is now a great time to stand up. What we're going to do is a little energetic warm-up because in order for us to show up fully regulated, fully present, fully aware, fully alive, what we need to do is tell our nervous system it's safe to be excited. It's safe to be alive. It's safe to be playful. So take these two fingers right here, doot, 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 and put them, there's these two little spots right on your chest. It's like little bird nests, soft spots. My other hand is going on my belly, right down here. And we're just going to breathe in through our nose, just rubbing gently back and forth. Nothing to prove. There's nothing to fix. There is nothing that you are missing. We are infinite beings. We're living in a delightful world, and all of the opportunities are available to us. Just settling into your wholeness, settling into your purpose. Switch hands. This hand now comes down on your belly. This one comes up. Find those spots again. Wake up, body. We got a great day. We have so many amazing speakers today. You are going to get exposed to so much content, so many ideas, and I want to make sure that you are absorbing the ones that resonate with you the most. And more importantly, connecting with your own inner wisdom, your inspired insights that you are going to use to unlock your gifts, to step into your passion, to cultivate a sense of deep and resonant purpose as you create something in the world that makes it a more thriving place for everyone and everything. Yes or no? Who is in? Let's go. Thinking that it needs to be hard, thinking that it needs to be challenging, all of these things, it's part of it. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to have hard days. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to experience these challenges. What I am going to say is that when those kinds of narratives and experiences come up, they are the beginning of the story and not the conclusion that we are drawing. So stay with it. Okay, taking your hands, we're just making a little triangle with our fingers like this. Triangle with the fingers, bring it down like a ballerina, right down below your navel, And then on inhale, bring your arms all the way up above your head. Inhale all the way up. Hold it, stretch. And sigh it out. Ah, down come the arms. Yes. Let's do it again. Nice and easy, nothing to prove. Inhale through the nose, reach all the way up. Hold it for a second. Ground in with your feet. And sigh out. Ah, yes. It's so good to be here. Okay, one more. We're going to take the left hand or your right hand, doesn't matter. And we're going to go to your right knee, the other knee, the opposite knee. And then we're going to tap. And I'm raising my knees. I'm going to adjust my screen a little bit here. There we go. So you go like this. Sherry's doing it. Sherry knows what's up. We are simply waking up your body. You don't have to believe anything. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to be anybody specific. As long as you got arms and knees and they work, you can do this. And if you have arms and legs that don't work, like some of my clients, we do this in other ways, right? I got siblings with disabilities. I got clients with disabilities. I work with people from homeless to famous, old, young, children, men, women, business owners. It's been an incredible journey, and it is an absolute delight to be here talking about freedom first. Yes, your dog, as Zenobia says, my dog is thinking I'm crazy. I love it. Introduce your dog to the newest version of you, Zenobia, the one that is alive and moving in her body, in her home. All right, who's feeling like they're in their body? Just give it a little tap. Have a sip of water. If you have some water, get comfortable, roll your shoulders, check in with yourself. There's not enough time for me to tell you all the things that are good for you. It is up to you to be in tune with your body and to check in to see, do I need food? Do I need water? Is it time to lay down on the floor and simply listen instead of straining my eyes and looking at a computer? No problem. Be present to your experience and honor that for a minute so we can create some safety and absorb some of the highest quality content that is possible. Okay. I love being a human. I understand the spiritual realm. I understand that we have a soul. I understand that we're connected to the infinite and actually are a manifestation of the divine. But at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day, and the whole day through, I find that I am a human, which means that I have a nervous system. And when you start peeling back the layers of what you're doing out there and how it all goes, you come up against things like thoughts and beliefs and emotions and breath, and these fundamental aspects of the human experience. If you're going to build a business that you are inspired by, you will act from an inspired state in order to create it. The inspiration doesn't come later, it begins now. My question is, how do we cultivate an inspired, energetic state without abandoning ourselves, right? This is not good vibes only. This is all vibes welcome. And being present to it. And riding the neurochemistry, the flow of neuro energy through our body to a place where we know when it's time to act, when we know when it's time to feel, and when we know when it's time to do absolutely nothing and be at peace with our ability to do that. How many people here are slightly concerned every time they try to do nothing? Some guilt comes up, some discomfort, start making a little to-do list. How many of you can sit and do nothing? Sometimes, says Kelly. Yep, for sure, says Stephen.
Yeah.
Yes. What a gift. Carolyn says, I love doing nothing. I also love doing nothing. I love action too, but I'll tell you what, one of the biggest epiphanies that I ever had was the value of doing nothing. Because most of the time that we are doing things, especially when it's in relation to money, business, right? Sometimes our art and simply our passions, even our romantic relationships, a lot of the actions that we are taking, we're not aware that we are not creating, we are reacting. And that does create reality, but it creates a reactive reality. So if we have the capacity to do absolutely nothing, it's like a dry erase board and you wipe it down, right? And you clean it off and you say it's blank. If we can get back to that state of absolute nothing for like 5 minutes a day, wouldn't that be a luxury? Ah, here we are. I just am. Not I am anything. Not I will one day. I am. Here we are. This. This isn't just words. This is a feeling that comes in the body where you're like, wow, I am so present. I am so alive. But here's the thing. Most of the time, there's that reactivity and there's this emotional layer that's getting in the way of it. So I want to talk about those layers because what I do is I work from the framework of awareness, which means that I'm not here to be the source of your inspiration. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to say, I'm not saying you should do anything, right? But I will say you just got to try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some things where you just got to try it. So we already did some breathing. Yeah, it's good. We did a little bit of movement, right? These are good ways to regulate the nervous system. I tricked you guys. I started regulating your nervous systems right off the bat so that you're more present, you're more alive, you're more attentive, you're more aware. And then as a result of that, more in access to the creativity and the inspired potential that is always within us all the time. It's us accessing that state without denying all of us. So let's talk about survival reactivity in the context of business. So let's start with a question here. What's the worst job you've ever had? Go ahead, put it in the chat. I just want to see, like, what are some of the worst jobs you've ever had? We got to see what these are. Let's go. Somebody share something in the chat. Okay, well, while that's coming up, I would say that one of the worst jobs. Oh, we got one. Deanna, collections agency.
Oh, yeah, that
Ooh, the
was
next one, corrections.
correction.
Collections and corrections. Yeah, okay. There's a theme. Deanna, sharing collections agency. Yeah, that's a ruthless job. I mean, I don't want to say it's like a good or a bad job, but that is a tricky job to access from a place of like, wow, I'm inspired by being a collections officer. Woohoo! Every day I get to wake up. Probably not. Probably not. No, no, Sherry. But if they're out there, it's like the parking attendant meters, right? It's like you're a bylaw officer and you are passionate about your job and you do it from a place of heart. You could be a really good bylaw officer. You could be a really empathetic collections officer, right? At the agency. Same thing with corrections, right? There are ways to be in as a corrections officer that are empathetic, they're heart forward, and we need those people there, right? Amita says, cleaning house for people who are so anal about it. I have some extremely particular clients, I should say, and they like their life to be so orderly. And you see that creates a condition of their happiness. They cannot be happy. They cannot experience peace unless the outside world looks a certain way. That can be very challenging people to work with. I can empathize with that for sure. Zenobia says, all my jobs have been interesting. Even if I did not like them, they were a learning experience. Boom. Love it. Absolutely true. It's okay to not like a job. It's okay to learn from a job you don't like. I'm not telling you that there's good jobs or bad jobs, but there are certainly jobs that we look back and we say, that was out of alignment. That's not where I was going to end up. That may have been a stepping stone, but it is not an identity that I was clinging to. It is not an alignment with my passion, my purpose. It did not bring me a sense of peace. I did not operate from an open heart in that state, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Didn't love it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's talk about some things and write these down if it's helpful for you, because these are things that you might be experiencing already if you have a business, or I guarantee you will be confronted with if you're thinking about starting a business. And these are all learned from experience. I haven't told you my story yet, but I have Sherry shared a little bit. I had a very exciting job advising companies, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of startup businesses, a lot of tech companies, marketing, architecture firms, design, all of these things. I went through the Rolodex of all of the companies in town and said, who is doing something awesome? Because I wanted to enjoy the work that I did, which meant that I wanted to work with people who were enjoying the work that they did. And what I found is that the majority of business owners weren't really enjoying themselves. It was work. It was really hard work, and they were stressed and they were frustrated, and there was an immense amount of conflict, and they were problem oriented, which means that they were always looking for the challenge that needed to be solved. Now, there is a time and place from that, but they couldn't unplug. They couldn't come back to a place of center, which would have dissolved at least half of the challenges that they were facing because they were co-creating those through reactivity. So here are 4 things that I would suggest. You just got to try it. we're going to say no to. All right? Number one, you are not doing it for the money. Ah! What happened? What feeling comes up when I hold up this? What does this do for you? Ooh, money, right? Or that's
I take it.
profane.
Oh,
What?
I'll
What's
take
that? I'll take it. Yeah. Oh, gimme. Okay, that's good. I like that. That's good. If we feel this sense of like, I can't get it, I don't know how to get it. Oh, coffee time, says Stephen. Okay, he's going to get some coffee. Yeah, right on. I would love to buy you a $20 coffee, Stephen. That sounds amazing. We are not doing it for the money, guys. It might feel like you are, and it's certainly part of the equation. But if you wake up every day and you're like, what my goal is because I want to make money, it's not a complete recipe. Because even if you get it, you'll still be seeking more. And I have clients who made it their goal to make $1 billion. Why do they want to make $1 billion? So that they could feel safe, right? So they could feel powerful, so they could feel free. They were in the illusion of what is commonly referred to as financial freedom.
mm-hmm,
This is not true freedom. It is
mm-hmm.
conditional freedom. It is you saying, if I have money, then I am free. That is okay. It's not great. So what I would suggest is that we say,
But
yes, money is important, right? Nothing wrong with money. Money is not evil, right? We can go through all the limiting beliefs around money, but the point is, it's not the point. I have clients who have paid me a lot of money to help them learn that it's not about the money. And it's beautiful, right?
yeah,
Because say that you paid me $10,000 to prove to you in 1 month that it's not about the money, which is to say that you become free from financial freedom myth, right? You are free, and then there is or isn't money, but you're operating from that freedom. And you paid me $10,000 to do that. What we would do is we would take that $10,000 that you just paid me, and we would begin distributing it from a heart-centered place so that you could see that what you're doing is co-creating reality with other people, and it is safe to give so that you don't have to hold on to it. It's not just about getting it. We would take that money and we would give it to aligned charities. We would give it to people that would use it to invest in businesses and inspired ideas that they've had that they need somebody to believe in. So now you're doing the work of being present. You're being a leader. You're being an advisor. And suddenly the wealth that you have that is your cage would go towards supporting other people without that fixation, without that attachment, without that needing to have it. So it's not about the money. It may be about something like, what is your passion, right? What are you passionate about? I recorded a podcast. I traveled around living in a van. I ended up at Santa Monica Beach asking people. I just wrote on a whiteboard and set up 2 microphones, 2 chairs right on the beach. What are you passionate about? And people would sit down all day. What am I passionate about? And they would find out what they are passionate about, even if they didn't know when we started that conversation, because that was my game. I wanted to explore people's passions. It might be about a sense of purpose that you have, which are intertwined but different. There is an outcome that I want. There's a journey that I want to go on. It may be about something like play, right? When people play, when artists create, when singers write songs, they're not doing it for the money. The best ones are doing it because they love it. The best entrepreneurs you know out there are also doing it because they love it. The money is a byproduct of that passion. The money is a byproduct of the alignment to their purpose. The money is a byproduct. It is an outcome of the inspiration that they led with. Yes? So if you find yourself thinking it's about the money, reset, come back. Why am I really doing this? Who does this serve? What role do I want to play? How do I want to spend my days? What gifts do I have that need to be given in order to be fully realized? And when we begin to answer those questions, all of this other energy that's not of lack, it's not of desire, it's not of insecurities, we begin to find out, that's who I am. That's what I want to do. And you can do it from that place of inspiration. It's not so far away. And therefore, the money comes easier. Number two thing. So, number one, it's not about the money. Number two, it is not to prove your worth. And I'm going to expand on this one, so you might write these down as well. It's not to win. It's not to hustle. There's no pride or shame in being busy. Oh, I'm busy, like it's a great thing. Oh, I'm so busy, like it's a bad thing. If you're busy, you're busy. There's going to be times when you got to hustle. But if you're identified with the hustle and you think that you got to work really hard to prove that you have worth, right? And then you got to beat other people in order to prove that you're better than them, you may not be building a business from a place of true abundance. It's still reactivity. And in fact, when we look at the nervous system, you might write down the word flight beside the not about the money part, right? Because we think that if we have money, then we'll be able to escape this suffering that we're in, right? So we look at money as our ticket out of here, whatever this here is that doesn't feel quite comfy. When it comes to proving worth, winning, hustling, beating other people, that's fight energy. Our nervous system is run by, at its central core, that first oldest part of our brain, it is reactive. It is that reptilian part of the brain. It is the survival brain. And so if we're thinking it's about the money, we're in flight. Like we need something else in order to be okay. All right, so we got to go over there and we got to chase it. Flight. If we are trying to fight, prove, win, hustle, and we're proud of it, and we think that that's how you get ahead, dog eat dog, right? Wake up and crush those sales calls. Fight. Your nervous system's in fight. You think it's got to be really hard. So, number 3. This one's challenging to talk about. All right. We are not doing it to please customers. Uh-oh. But if we don't please the customers, why would they pay us? Oh, okay. This one's challenging, and this one's one that I learned last, so I'd say that it's freshest, because it is so easy for us to want to be a bright light, to be shiny, to attract people and call it magnetic, right? Neuromagnetism is when things naturally draw towards us, when we are naturally drawn towards other things from an inspired state. That's neuromagnetism. But appease, that other reactivity model in our brain, says, if they like me, I am safe. If they validate my product, I am good enough, right? So then we end up attracting customers that are very challenging to please. You guys are all familiar with the 80-20 rule in business, where 20% of your customers take up 80% of your time because they're the high maintenance ones. That begins to shrink substantially and in some cases disappear when we stop trying to please our customers. So how do you win customers? You don't win them. You simply stand in your truth. You know your value. When these things happen and your heart is open and your breath is regulated and your eyesight is connected to theirs, they may bring you complexities, but you're not taking them on. It is not yours. That's the challenge that they are perceiving as subjectively true, and you are available to support them from a grounded, regulated state. And because they sense that spaciousness, because they sense that presence that you have, the longer they spend time with you, the smaller their problem gets, and you don't have to do anything. So what you're doing is you're standing in peace, you're standing in truth, your heart is open, so you're connected to love. You see them, you can empathize, you can be compassionate, but you are not there to please them. They may not be the right customer for you. And if they're not, they'll let you know. And they will free you from needing to do something to make them happy. When you know what you're offering, when you know what your gift is, and you stand in it, the right people will show up. And if they don't, it's okay. That means that there's something else in your nervous system that is creating resistance. For example, when somebody signs up for one of my workshops, I get this little jolt of, oh no, right? And which is the amygdala saying, is this safe? No, it says, no, it's not safe. Okay, so I sit with that and I breathe with that. Wow, I have a fear of success. Okay, so that's an example from my past. So then when you begin to build these kinds of awarenesses and you realize that I am trying to please customers so that I get external validation, but then when they sign up, I'm not safe. These are exactly those push-pull dynamics. It's kind of like driving a car where you push down the gas, but you're also pumping the brakes. Anybody tried it? It's not very fun. doesn't get you where you want to go,
Lots
right?
of writing, lots of sound, but no movement.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so that's a piece. So the fourth thing we're gonna do. So what do we have so far? Number one, we're not doing it for the money. Number two, we're kind of not doing it to win, work hard, hustle, beat other people, right? We're not doing that fight energy. No to pleasing customers. Stand in your truth. Know your value. If you're not clear on it, then you will get lost in trying to get their validation so that you can decide what it is that you have a value. And that's a hell of a trap. That'll keep you kind of spinning circles in a parking lot for a long time. The fourth one, guys, let's say no to doing it alone. Because the truth is, you're not. You're not doing it alone. Nobody is doing it alone. There is no self-made billionaire, millionaire, or broke person on the planet. We are co-creating this. Okay? So what that means is that you are aware that your past and your family, your parents are helping co-create your reality because of that karmic momentum, right? Of who you are and how you are currently wired to be. That's just your starting place where you are today. Amazing. Let's honor it, right? So maybe there's some forgiveness work we got to do to like bring everybody with us. You're doing it with friends because you're going to empathize, you're going to talk about them, you're going to commiserate, you're going to explore, you're going to brainstorm, you're going to shoot the shit, right? You're going to have play time with them. You're also have investors at some point, right? You're going to have people that look at your company and say, I want to collaborate with you. And that's all investors are. They're financial collaborators. So you're going to collaborate with people with a diverse range of skill sets. You don't have to be great at everything. You don't have to have all of the answers, right? It is more fun to win, to play, to thrive together. Yes, right? So one question that I would have for you right now, when you close your eyes and you think, who am I doing this with? Just write down a few names, right? These could be business partners. These could be clients that you realize, wow, I don't get to have a business unless I have these clients, and this is amazing. And I love what the work that we've done together. It might be your spouse, right? Or your partner. Who is part of your business? And realize that there is no circumstance where nobody comes to mind because we're not doing it alone. Okay. So if we're saying no to fixating on the money, right? To winning and hustling and working our way to a place of peace, if we're not going to fixate on pleasing customers and we've decided we're not doing it alone, those levels of awareness will take care of like 80% of the challenges. Just saying no to those. You don't have to have the answer to what you're saying yes to. When you know what you're saying no to and you're like, well, I don't want to do it like that. Not like that. That's a sentence that comes out of my mouth frequently. I'm not judging it as good or bad. I'm saying that's not for me. And after 4 years of studying the nervous system, a decade of advising business owners and entrepreneurs, and seeing the way that they react to their reality, these are the patterns that I've drawn as fundamentally true to the human experience. Why? Because we have a nervous system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love astrology. Don't get me wrong. I love human design. I find all of these frameworks absolutely fascinating. But if you are looking at astrology from survival brain, right, and you got your amygdala all fired up thinking that there's a threat and you need to look at the stars in order to feel safe, that's hard work because it's complicated. There's complexity and you can interpret it however you are already feeling. So nervous system awareness, which also then transcends to emotional awareness, is so fundamental to the human experience that if we don't do it, things start falling apart. Yes, finances, yes, relationships, but also things like our ability to dream, the health of our bodies, right? It's driving us unless we drive it. Do you believe in fate or free will? Any fate believers out there? Everything's fated, everything's happening the way that it's supposed to, everything's part of a divine plan. Yeah, we love these narratives. Okay, anybody else out there saying, nope, free will, baby. I choose this. I can create whatever reality I want, right? The reality is, okay, so we're getting a lot for the free will. That's great because you guys chose to be here and I appreciate it, right? There's also a lot going on in this. You could call it the subconscious, you could call it the astral plane. It doesn't really matter. There's a lot going on that's helping co-create every event that happens. So what I have found is that if you have a nervous system and you believe in fate, there's a part of your brain called the amygdala that is fundamentally running your reality. And what I mean by that is that's where reactivity comes from, that creates pattern, to the point where you're like, this is almost predictable, right? I keep having this experience. This thing keeps happening to me. There is nothing I can do about it. What turns out to be true is that when we unpack those things, we find out that free will must be chosen. We choose free will. And
Mhm.
that is the nervous system in our brain moving from the amygdala in the back, these two little guys back here, fight, flight, freeze, appease. That's all they're thinking about all day. There's a threat, I gotta react. And then
Mhm.
we regulate that, and then we come to this place of the emotional brain, and the emotional brain has all these stories and these questions. Why me? Am I good enough? When will it all make sense? Et cetera, et cetera. Yep, Steven says looping patterns, for sure. Emotional brain loves to loop, and it loves to tell the same stories of resentment, of grief, of jealousy, of envy, of fear, of anger, of joy. It doesn't matter. These emotional, we're like, oh, I feel this way, and the story is blank, right? When we learn how to navigate those without buying in, without clinging into those stories as true, oof, this is so potent. We have so many thoughts. They all are generated basically from a different state. So anything can be true from a certain state. But when we're in the emotional brain, we're in this mucky middle part. And what people often equate with suffering is actually just emotions that they're resisting. Most
Exactly.
people who say that they're suffering are simply resisting a feeling. Oh,
Mhm.
when they find out and give name, there are studies on this, right? Big universities have done studies simply naming one or two or three emotions and being aware of the story that is coming from that frequency. Simply being aware and then regulating the nervous system. It's like going up on an elevator to a higher floor where it doesn't deny that reality, but you're moving to a place a little bit clearer above the clouds. So that's when we begin to open up. That's when inspiration comes. That's when the wisdom of the emotion is naturally and effortlessly integrated into your body so that you feel whole. It is not denying any of the feelings. It doesn't work. No good vibes only. Don't do it. Save yourself the trouble. It is all vibes welcome, which means that what is present is safe to be with, and I choose to act from a place of inspiration, which means that if I don't feel inspired in the moment, I don't act. But I don't go into freeze and say, well, I just can't do anything, right? Right? I breathe and I recognize that I am in that survival brain. I am in that emotional brain. I am in that brain state that is not conducive to decision making. It's not conducive to taking action. It's not conducive to abundance, collaboration, right? It's really good at anxiety, burnout, and needing to control everything in order to be okay. But that's where we fall apart, is when we get lost in making decisions from the wrong state. So what I do with my clients, and I've worked with people one-on-one, love it. If you guys are resonating with the things that I'm saying and you want to come
Mhm.
play with awareness with me, I make it extremely personal so that we're exploring your reality. The gift that I have for you today is we're going to map out your nervous system. This is a neuromagnetic assessment, and we can do it for you as a person, or we can do it for you as a business, because at the end of the day, the business is a reflection of how you are feeling. It is a reflection of the state in which you're living, right? And even if you don't have a business and you're thinking of starting one, let's get you started on the right foot, because most business owners are going through the ego trip and the spiritual trip of coming to the realization that it was never about the money, it was never about the power, it was never about the control, it was never about the roles, the title, etc. But they have to go and do all of this work for decades in order to come to the realization that what they were searching for was available for free the whole time. Now, my time isn't free, but what I'm pointing towards is free, right? So if it's helpful for you to have a map of your personalized nervous system for either your business or you, then we would do what I call a neuromagnetic assessment, which actually turns into a playbook so that you can meet yourself through awareness, breath, and connection. That's it. ABC, baby. Awareness, breath, connection. All right. When we do this, we're looking at it together, the different brain states, these different levels of being that are all within all of us, the full spectrum of your inner reality, mapping it in simple things like thoughts, emotions, etc., right? Like simple concepts. We're not getting into complexity. We need this to be useful 24/7 so that you can meet yourself moment by moment, breath by breath, and come to a place of freedom first, and then build the business, and then take action. And that's where it becomes more playful. I was a regular old coach, right? I used to be an advisor to companies, and then I left that. I was going to tell more of the story, but it's really not about my story. But I left that because I recognized that humans were running businesses, humans were running governments, humans were teaching our kids in school, humans were making decisions that affect other people, and they did not have a level of awareness that could differentiate between reactivity and creativity, right? They were in competition,
Mhm.
not collaboration. And so I literally threw everything down. It was a decision I made on 30 days notice, liquidated my life, and I said, I know that there is a deeper purpose that I have to serve. I know that there are things that I'm passionate about that I need to explore and integrate. I also know that there's this thing called peace, and I don't believe it's a destination. I believe it's a way in which you walk the journey, right? And through my understanding of these cognitively, my embodiment of these, right, releasing all of the stuff that was getting in the way of that, what I discovered was that it also gets to be more playful. The awareness games, which is I'm a sidekick in the awareness games. So I made the awareness games and then I act as a sidekick. And I actually act as a sidekick for all of my clients. So whatever trip you're on, whatever adventure you're going through, whether that's building a business, healing a relationship, exploring the depths of philosophy, neuroscience. I can go in any direction you want. I'm along for the ride with you, holding space for awareness for the frequency of your nervous system and allowing all of it to be okay. But what ends up happening is as we don't react, feelings come up. We'll stay with the feelings. What do the feelings say? Is there any wisdom in that? Is there any pain in that? Is there any suffering in that? Is there any limitation and any lack? But is there an us them victimhood? It begins to purify, and we come up to this place where, hey, I've got an idea, and it's your idea. It's not my idea. I don't recommend paying people a ton of money to learn how to access your own wisdom.
Mhm. That's innate, right?
Right. It's innate and it's free.
Mhm.
So you can read a book and you can learn how to access your own wisdom. I find it's way more fun when we do it together with other people. But this isn't something we need to put up on a pedestal as something that's not for us or that we're not allowed to have. We are all allowed to feel whole. We are all allowed to be connected to our own wisdom. We are all allowed to be inspired. The nervous system is the map. We learn how to walk it. So my neuromagnetic business assessment, personal assessment, is the tool that allows you to show up with maximum awareness as you begin to create the reality that is most inspired and aligned for you, right? Also, if you have questions, if you have challenges, I would just love to see those in the chat so that we can resonate with those for like 2 minutes because I want you to be aware of the questions that you're asking. I want you to know, I want you to know what it is that you want to get out of Freedom First. And if you have those, put those in the chat. Just claim it as something that you would love to have an answer of. Let's get curious. Absolutely. So
That's scary.
the other gift that I have is a discount. It's not a free gift because I do believe in energetic exchange. You can have a 20-minute call for me for free, and we will get deep as you want. You can book it. It's a hello link, which we can put in the chat. But if you want to participate in one of the other gifts that I have, it is the awareness games, which is kind of what I've been talking about, the fundamental layers of awareness of the human experience, mapped out over 7 weeks, delivered to your inbox with the tools you need to be able to integrate it. It's the same stuff that we could do if we jumped on the phone, right? If we did a Zoom call, I could walk you through it, and I'm happy to do that too. I do that with lots of clients. But if you just want that drip feed into your inbox of that wisdom accessing power, right? The way in which you begin to cultivate awareness of your own nervous system and come to a place of absolute clarity and then take action. That's what that's about. So that's called the fundamentals. It's the awareness games fundamentals delivered to your inbox. That is available to you. So it's $77 with the discount code of MORE, MORE 50, MORE 50.
Okay.
That's a throwback, Sherry. With a MORE 50 discount code, you put that in at the checkout and it'll go down to $27. And that gives you the 7 weeks and also invitations to come connect with me if you want some additional support. Okay?
Okay. Don't forget coupon code
Yes.
MORE on that free gift.
MORE 50, MORE
More
50.
Okay.
That's right.
Sorry. I'm going to put
Okay.
that in.
And I also want to just leave you with 4 Ps. I've mentioned them all, but I just want you to write them down because these are fundamental anchors.
Sorry, is the more capital or does it matter?
It's capital, and I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you have any issues, just email theawarenessgames@gmail.com. I will get that, right? We'll figure it out. Also, the last thing that I wanted to say is that when I work with clients, and I've worked with a lot of people in a lot of different situations, as I mentioned earlier, homeless, fameless, old, poor, rich, young, all everything. It's been amazing.
Love it.
I've lately been working with people with disabilities, and that's a trip for me as well to feel so grateful for the body that works, and also compassionate for meeting people where they are, but also seeing the ways in which they still have identity blocks, right? Beliefs that keep them more stuck than they need to be, and that's some sensitive territory. But
Mhm.
what I'm saying is that I have room for the full spectrum of the human experience. I have sat with murderers who've confessed murder to me. They haven't told anybody else, but they needed somebody who could listen, and I didn't judge them, and I get it. Here we are. Welcome to life.
Mhm.
There's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff going on. So if there's anything that's happening for you that you're like, I don't know how to deal with this, I don't know where to start, I guarantee you that speaking about it and sharing it with at least one person is an immensely profound step to not
So true.
only an increase in your mental health, but also moving that energy out so that new energy can come in. And I'm happy to hold the space to do that. When I work with companies, and this is the last thing I'll say, when we're talking about like 20, 30 people, I love working on the culture level because the leadership and the people that they're working with, there needs to be a synergy. Your business is a nervous system. It has a nervous system. It is the energetic interconnections of a corporation. Corp means body. So we've got a body and all of the people in there doing things. That is a nervous system. So I apply the same fundamental concepts, and I have applied this with other companies, that we would do on an individual level, but to a group level. And I make it playful, which means I can do corporate retreats, right? We can do brainstorming sessions. Sometimes I just facilitate meetings. I do conflict resolution. I work with people one-on-one to optimize and access their gifts and then integrate it into systems level thinking. And this is the most fun that I can have, is working with people individually or with groups to help access their innate gifts, their genius, their passion. Those 4 Ps: peace, passion, purpose, play. Write those 4 down and just glance at them once per day. That will be enough to anchor them in.
Awesome.
Breathe with me. Good to be here. Thank you, Sherry.
Awesome.
Love
Thank you so much. What
this.
a great
Yeah.
session. And look at that free gift. The capital letters are fun. So if you want to have some fun and explore all of what Shua has offered here, please take advantage of that. Make sure you check the coupon code there for the free gift, which is more 50 upgrade to VIP if that feels aligned. Thank you, Shua.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.